Daf Yomi, Tractate Menachot 62b, top of the page with Rav Papa Amar. Rav Papa Amar, D'chuli alma dun minah, uminahu v'hainu time de Abi, ki hasam davar shematan kohen, avacha davar shematan kohen. Rav Papa said, there is a different explanation of the dispute between Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi and the rabbis. Everyone, even Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, agrees that with regard to a verbal analogy, the guiding principle is infer from it and derive the details from it. And this is the reason for Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi's ruling that after the slaughter of the communal peace offering, one waves the entire body offering. Not just the breast and the thigh. It is done here like it is done there in the case of individual peace offerings, just as there one waves the item that is a gift to the priest, as the breast and thigh are given to the priest to eat. So to here, with regard to the communal peace offerings, one waves the item that is a gift to the priest, since the communal peace offerings are given to the priests in their entirety. They are also waved in their entirety. Ravina Omar D'chuli alma dun mina v'oki v'asra v'hainu tam d'rabanon shalmem rebuyahu. Ravina said in explanation, which is the opposite of Rav Papa's. Everyone, even the rabbis, agrees that the guiding principle is infer from it, but interpret the halacha according to its own place. And this is the reason for the ruling of the rabbis that one waves only the breast and thigh of communal peace offerings. The verse states with regard to individual peace offerings, for the breast of waving and the thigh of heaving, I have taken from the children of Israel out of their sacrifices of peace offerings, and have given them to Aaron the priest and to his sons as an eternal portion from among the children of Israel. Leviticus 7:34. The term their sacrifices of peace offerings is in the plural, despite the fact that the verse is referring to individual peace offerings. This is an amplification which teaches that the same halacha applies to communal peace offerings, meaning that only the breast and the thigh are to be waved. Rabbi Shimon Omer, Shlosh Aminin Tunin, Shlosh Mitzvos, Shtayim B'chol Echad Shlishis Bein Bohen, Veiluhein Zivrei Sham Yochi, V'Zivrei Sham Mitzibor, V'Hasham Mitzoiro. The Mishnah teaches, Rabbi Shimon says, there are three types of offerings that require performance of 3 mitzvot. 2 mitzvot are performed on each and every one of them, but the third mitzvah is not performed in their sacrifice, meaning that each of these offerings requires 2 out of the same 3 mitzvot, but not necessarily the same 2 as the others. And these are the 3 offerings. Peace offerings brought as gift offerings by an individual. Communal peace offerings, meaning the 2 lambs brought with them 2 loaves on the festival of Shavuot, and the guilt offering of a leper. Zivchei sham yochi tunin smicha chayim u'tenufa shchutin ve'ein bohem tenufa chayim Zivchei sham mitzibo tunin tenufa chayim u'shchutin ve'ein bohem smicha asham metzoiro taun smicha tenufa chay ve'ein bo tenufa shachut. Excuse me. The Mishnah continues, peace offerings brought by individuals require placing hands on the head of the animals while the animals are still alive, and waving after they are slaughtered, but there is no obligation of waving them while they are alive. Communal peace offerings require waving both while they are still alive and after they are slaughtered, but there is no obligation of placing hands on them. And the guilt offering of a leper requires placing hands and waving while it is still alive, but there is no obligation of waving after it is slaughtered. V'yu zivchei sham yochid tunin tinufo chaim mikal v'choimel uma zivchei sham etzibo shein tunin smicha chaim tunin tinufo chaim zivchei sham yochid tunin smicha chaim eino din tunin tinufo chaim. The Gemara challenges and let peace offerings brought by an individual require waving while still alive, as this can be derived via an a fortiori inference. It means a kal v'chomer. And if communal offerings, whose halacha is more lenient than that of individual peace offerings, in that they do not require placing hands on the head of offerings while they are alive, nevertheless require waving when alive, with regard to peace offerings brought by an individual which do require placing hands while alive, is it not logical to include that they require waving when alive? The Gemara answers, this in a fortiori inference is not accepted. This kal v'chomer is not accepted because the merciful one extended peace offerings brought by an individual, as the verse states with regard to communal peace offerings, and the priest shall wave them with the bread of the first fruits for a wave offering before the Lord with the two lambs. Leviticus 23:20. The word "them" serves to exclude peace offerings brought by an individual from the requirement of waving while the animal is alive. The Gemara asks, and let communal peace offerings require placing hands, and this can be derived via kal v'chomer inference. And if peace offerings brought by an individual whose halacha is more lenient than that of communal peace offerings, in that they do not require waving while alive, nevertheless require placing hands, then with regard to communal peace offerings which do require waving when alive, is it not logical to conclude that they require placing hands? Ravina said, this a kal v'chomer inference is not accepted, as it is learned as a tradition from Sinai that there are only two cases of placing hands in communal offerings: the scapegoat on Yom Kippur and the bull brought for an unwitting communal sin. This is interesting. So they say this is halacha Moshe Sinai, but so Ravina said that. So why is it that Ravina only knew this, but the other rabbis didn't know this? Ravina said this is an a fortiori inference because it's halacha Moshe Sinai. But if it's halacha Moshe Sinai, why didn't everybody know it? It should have been published, no? So how much? What I want to say is, I want to say it the right way, how much creative license did the different rabbis have to say that this was halacha Moshe Sinai? I mean, Ravina said it was, but how does all the other rabbis, they have to believe him? I guess they believed him, and maybe it was, but maybe it wasn't, but we won't know. You'll have to actually just believe it. That's my question when it comes to a certain rabbi saying that this is halacha Moshe Sinai, in order to prove his point. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know that it is, we don't know that it's not. It's just, okay, anyway, let's move on. If you got what I was saying, then good. If not, let's move on. The Gemara further asks, and let the guilt offering of a leper require waving after the animal has been slaughtered, as this can be derived via an a fortiori inference, and if peace offerings brought by an individual whose halacha is more lenient than that of the guilt offering of a leper, in that they do not require waving when alive, nevertheless require waving after they are slaughtered, And with regard to the guilt offering of a leper, which requires waving while alive, is it not logical to conclude that it also requires waving after it's slaughtered? The Gemara answers, the merciful one excluded the guilt offering of a leper, as the verse states with regard to peace offerings brought by an individual, his own hands shall bring the offerings of the Lord made by fire. The fat with the breast shall he bring, the breast, to wave it before the Lord. Leviticus 7:30. The word it serves to exclude the guilt offering of a leper from the requirement of waving after the animal has been slaughtered. Tanu Rabbanon Chamisha Sheviu Korban Echad Menif Al Yaldei Kulam VeHaisha Kohen Menif Al Yado V'chein HaShleach Korban Oisav B'Mididas Hayom Kohen Menif Al Yado. The sages taught in a Braita, with regard to 5 people who brought one offering together, one of them waves the offering on behalf of all of them. And in the case of a woman who brings an offering, the priest waves the offering on her behalf. And similarly, with regard to one who sends his offerings from overseas, the priest waves them on his behalf. Okay, we'll stop here for today.